I welcome a heartiest welcome to all, and honored. we are honored to have our resource person, Dr. A. Ganesan, Assistant Professor, Ramakrishna Mission, Vivekananda College, Mylapore, and we are glad about all your virtual presence here. And now I invite Dr. P. Harshini, Assistant Professor in the Department of English, to deliver the welcome address.
A warm good afternoon to everyone connected here. It gives me immense happiness to propose the welcome address for the first day of the 7-day national level FDP on technology enhanced language and literature teaching in higher education, organized by the Department of English of Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute University. At the outset, let me express my deepest gratitude to our Honorable President, Engineer ACS Arun Kumar, for providing the Department of English with an opportunity to conduct such effectual programs for the benefit of the teaching community. Indeed, such programs as this play a vital role in enriching knowledge and assist in effective growth and development amidst the teaching fraternity. It is now time to welcome our resource person of the day, Dr. A. Ganesan, Assistant Professor, Department of English, RKM Vivekananda College, Chennai. Sir has been kind enough to accept our invitation to be a resource person despite his busy schedule and deliver on the need of the hour topic, digital pedagogy for quality research in English literature. We wholeheartedly welcome you, sir, and hope your knowledgeable talk will throw light on some of the essential aspects pertaining to quality research. I also welcome the Dean, HOD, and staff members of the Department of English and also the organizing committee of this program. Last but not the least, I welcome all my dear participants from across the nation and hope you all will be greatly benefited from today's session just as you had from the previous days. Thank you.
Thank you, Harshini ma'am. Now I invite Ms. Angel Peter, Assistant Professor, to introduce our resource person.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm pleased and honored to introduce the chief guest for today's session, Dr. A. Ganesan, Assistant Professor of English, Ramakrishna Mission, Vivekananda College, Chennai. His passion for language, literature, and writing is evident from the list of his publications and achievements. Dr. Ganesh graduated from the New College, Chennai, with a postgraduate degree in English literature in the year 2004, MPhil degree in English language teaching in 2006. He was awarded the postdoctoral degree in 2015 by Amit University, Chennai. He cleared the state eligibility test in 2012 and national eligibility test in 2018. With 20 published articles in referred journals and 25 conference publications, the list of his achievements is a huge one. He has organized 7 workshops, including one international workshop in Nepal in the year 2016 on the topic Teaching English Language Through Activities. Invitations to deliver lectures and workshops have been extended to him by schools and colleges, and Dr. Ganesan has delivered 20 such lectures so far. He has received external research funding from 3 sponsoring agencies for the project titled Employability Skills. His postdoctoral thesis on the efficacy of simulations as pedagogical tools in the ESL context and his qualification as a TEFL trainer speaks his love for teaching the English language. Dr. Ganesan was the recipient of the Best Paper Award for a review paper entitled The Relevance of Vivekananda in the Modern Educational System, an Overview, in 2012, and was the winner of the United States Cultural Immersion Program Scholarship and visited the US in 2014. We are very happy to have you in our midst, sir. Now, let me invite Dr. Ganesan to deliver the session.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your wonderful introduction. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Friends and dear professors, it's indeed a pleasure in giving a talk at MGR University. First and foremost, let me thank the organizers, MGR University Vice Chancellor, Registrar, and Head of the Department, and Dr. Revati and other professors and friends. I thank you immensely and profusely for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Yes. Without wasting our time, are you able to hear me? Yes, okay. The topic that is given to me is digital pedagogy for a quality research in English literature. First of all, wherever I go, whenever I give talks, I have the habit of explaining the keywords that is given in the topic. Digital pedagogy. Some of the keywords that I have found in the in the topic are digital, pedagogy, quality, research, and literature. I think I can take some liberties in pronouncing the word, the first word rather, digital. When I pronounce this word digital, how many of you feel I'm wrong? Because many a times I've heard people pronouncing the word pedagogy as pedagogy and hegemony as hegemony. When I pronounced this word digital, how many of you have felt my pronunciation is wrong? How many of you have felt, oh, I should have spoken to an English professor, I should have consulted an English professor with regard to pronunciation, right? Or at least I should have referred to some dictionaries with regard to this particular word's pronunciation. So how many of you felt the pronunciation is wrong when I said digital? You can just say wrong or right in the chat box. So the title, Digital Pedagogy for a Quality Research in English Literature. So when I said digital pedagogy, how many of you say, sir, how can you pronounce this word, digital as digital? Okay, Dr. Danesh Viveka has said I'm wrong. Thank you, Dr. Danesh. Any other participants? I'll be happy if you use this chat box. Dr. Revati says it's wrong. Thank you, Dr. Revati. Any other participants? I'll be happy if you chat with me because this is, this is the snoozing session our post lunch session. Abhinaya madam says it is wrong. Thank you, Abhinaya. Thank you, Dr. Tanesh. Thank you, Dr. Revati. Dr. Raji Ramesh says this is wrong. Thank you so much. I'm really happy, to have read this particular comment. Ma'am Akshaya also says I'm wrong. Thank you. So the first and foremost parameter of a research is perhaps to think, to question. The first one, when I say digital, many would have felt, okay, some of you have not, Sasireka or Balraj sir, Alagu Kannan, he wishes me, okay. So they all said this is wrong, but I have to justify it, right? I have to justify it. What made me pronounce this word digital or digital, okay? So the first duty of a researcher is to analyze, is to dissect the word. Okay? Or when you all said, this is wrong, that made me think, that made me question. Because that is another duty of a researcher. You have to question. Okay? So the first question is, am I wrong? Yes. The second question is, I'm going to dissect the word. So the word digital, actually that is digital, you are all correct. Thank you, Sasi ma'am, Balraj sir, Akshaya, Raji, Abhinaya, Revati and Dr. Tanesh. I'm really happy for your direct answer, right? You have blatantly said I am wrong. I am happy about it. Yes, that is wrong. But I am going to justify by dissecting the word digital, okay? D-I-G, what is that? D-I-G. Okay, Prakash also says, this is wrong. Okay, dig. The first three letters, D-I-G. And the next two letters are I-T. And the last two letter, I'm going to add one more letter with that is L. So dig it all. When I say digital platform, all the information, all the resources are buried in the online platform, and as a researcher, it is our duty to dig it all from the online platform. I'm going to ask you another question here. My dear participants and professors and friends, when did you visit library last? Okay, I have a set of questions. When did you surf YouTube? When did you Google, for an information? When did you use a gadget? When did you read an article, or where did you read an article recently? How often do you Google search for your research? How long do you spend your time on Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram? How many e-certificates have you procured or obtained lately? How many e-quiz, FDP, e-conferences, webinars have you attended lately? I'm sure many of you would say, sir, even this morning I Googled. Even this morning I watched a video on YouTube. Even this morning when I wanted some information, I Googled it. Because we always say, these days, Mada, Pida, Google and Deva, right? So dig it all. Whenever you need some information or the other, you immediately dig it, you immediately get the help of Google or digital platform. Okay? So that is why I pronounced this word, of course, digital, as dig it all. How many of you agree with me? Yes, sir. There are lots of information, there are lots of resources available in the online platform. It's our duty, it is our role to dig, to dig them all from online platform. How many of you say yes? Okay, Dr. Tanesh says yes. Thank you so much. Any other, participants? Would you like to say anything? because the first one I did was I dissected the word. Thank you, Dr. Raji Ramesh. She says, yes, this is true. Everything is available online. It is our duty to dig it all. It is our, as a researcher, it is our duty to dig deeper to get deeper insights. Thank you, Madam Vijay Lakshmi. So I have given some explanation, okay? For digital, yes, having to do with digits, okay, numbers, okay. Digital clock, we have analog clock as well, okay. But then here, the word digital is used, for the sake of mentioning the information age, okay. This is a digital age, okay. That is why there are new terms have come up. I am a netizen, right? The person who uses net a lot, net plus citizen has become netizen, right? Netiquettes, net plus etiquettes, that has become netiquette. So there are many words, exactly. Okay, Chitra Praveen says, yes, that's the reason behind watching yours. Oh, thank you, Balraj and Chitra. Okay, and the second one, after digital, the pedagogy. Pedagogy is nothing but methodology, okay? Methodology, the method of learning something, or the method of doing something, the method of doing a research, something like that. And then quality. Many a times I've heard people saying, quality is a myth. Quality is an abstract noun. This cannot be defined easily, right? So quality is measurable, but then it is invisible. Yes. Level of excellence, right? Sometimes we say poor quality and good quality. We'll talk about quality, in the forthcoming slides. Then research is nothing but diligent inquiry or examination to seek, right? So when I said digital or digital, you would have thought, what made him pronounce this word, dig it all, right? The first question, what made him pronounce this word DIGI, TAL as digital? And number two, I dissected the word dig it all to get better meaning, right? Then literature. What is literature? I know we are all literature students here or professors here. What is literature? Can anybody define the term literature? Literature. I think so many of you are typing. Literature. What is literature? Fine. Reflection of human life. Thank you, Chitra ma'am. Mirror of life. Thank you, Mr. Mariappan. Soul music says it's a mirror of life. Okay, thank you, thank you. In my opinion, any written document is literature. Any written document with artistic feeling, any written document with aesthetic feeling is a literature. Okay, so we have many genres here: prose, poetry, a drama, fiction, non-fiction, novel. So any writing with artistic feeling or aesthetic feeling can be considered literature. Thank you so much for all your words and comments. This is pedagogy. Okay, pedagogy, we teach not to produce little living libraries on a subject, but rather to get students to think mathematically. If you go through Bloom's taxonomy, you will understand. It starts from remember, but then it ends with creating. So methodology, not only you have to focus on reading, but also you have to end with creating something. I have given a phrase here: permanent head damage or permanently health in danger. If you just take the first letter alone and type it in the chat box, permanently health in danger or permanent head damage, could you please take the first letter alone? PhD, thank you, Dr. Tanesh. So when I asked people, what is PhD to you? Many people have said, sir, permanently health in danger or permanent head damage. The minute I registered, my my health damaged. But after 3 years, you can read the last phrase. Thank you, Mr. Balraj. Permanent happiness and dissemination. Dissemination is nothing but scattering or sharing the information that you have gained. Okay, so from permanently health in danger to permanent happiness and dissemination, you have to travel. Why do we do research, or why do we research? I have given some phrases here. The first one, everybody says, sir, to acquire a doctoral degree, or I need promotion, right? Or quest for knowledge. Some people for inquisitiveness and finding pleasures. Okay, these are all some of the reasons for registering for PhD. But how should one do PhD, or how should one do research? Actually, I wanted to share one poem that is written by Rudyard Kipling. The title of the poem is I Keep Six Honest Serving Men. Okay, that is the title. So I keep six honest serving men with me. They taught me all I know or knew. Whatever I know, all these things are taught by six men. Who are the six men? Sir, father, mother, headmaster, principal, English professor, Ganesh, Dr. Tanesh, Mariappan, etc. No. The six people I always keep, with me are what, why, when, how, where, and who. Research starts here. You have to ask questions. Research is all about investigation. If you have some questions in your mind, if you are trying to get answers or seek answers for that, then that is a research, right? To strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. Okay? Reminds me of Tennyson. Who can do research? Bacon comes here. Bacon came to rescue me here. Bacon's words, reading maketh a fool man, conference a ready man, writing an exact man. I just rephrased, this wonderful phrase. Reading makes you a research scholar, conference makes you a speaker, and writing makes you a PhD holder. The first thing I have given even in the prerequisite column, the first and foremost thing, before you start your research, you have to read about the author, you have to read the theory that is related to the particular author. Then conference, here meaning meetings, right? Maybe you may have doctoral committee meetings or attending conferences and seminars. By that, you will become a wonderful speech maker or an orator or a speaker. Then writing makes you a PhD holder. Without writing, you cannot get your degree. So every day you have to write something. What are the objectives of a research, right? Usually we say objectives will start with 2. Even if you have any objectives, you can type it in the chat box. Some objectives that came to my mind are to extend knowledge, to bring to light certain information, to establish generalizations, to evolve existing theories and concepts, to verify existing facts and theories, to develop new theories and concepts, and to contribute towards societal building. So these are all some of the objectives of a research. If you are a research scholar, I am sure you will try to extend your knowledge, or you will try to establish some generalizations, or you will try to evolve existing theories, or you will try to develop new theories. Okay, so these are all some of the roles of a research scholar. Then there is another word, quality, right? And qualities of a good research or researcher. It should be systematic. You have to plan. You have to design. Say, I wish to go to Trichy. I may plan to go by car. Before starting my journey, what do? I go, I check the air pressure, I check the fuel, I check whether I can drive this, I can take my car, or any repairing is needed, I may have to think that, then I have to start. Similarly, before you start your research, you have to think, you have to plan, you have to design, and it should be logical, right? And it should not be arbitrary. That is, not based on individual judgment or discretion, or not determined by impulse, or it should be based on reasons, it should be based on facts, it should be logical. Okay, then research should be empirical. Okay, you have to find out something, because at the end of the chapter you will give that. And yes, it should be replicable, meaning every research is cyclical. Okay, where one research stops, another research starts. Because whenever research scholar comes to us, we always ask them to read scope for the further research, because where one research stops, another research may start here. Coming back to this planner, sir, I wish to do my research in English literature. I'll come to digital platforms, don't worry about that. Planner, what are the prerequisites and rudimentary things that every research scholar should do? First and foremost, my friend, Dr. Vijay used to say, his guide told him, read your primary sources first and come to me. Because whenever we go for doctoral committee meetings, even after 4 DC meetings, even after 5 meetings, some research scholars say, sir, I'm yet to choose my primary sources, right? I'm yet to, start to apply theories. So where will you go? How will you finish your degree? You are given, specific period. That is why when you start your research, we always say your objective should be SMART. The word SMART is an acronym. It should be specific, right? Sometimes people will say to the guide, madam or sir, whatever you give, I will do. Or whatever you ask me to do, I will do. No, it shouldn't be like that. You have to, the topic, the area, or you have to be specific. Then it should be measurable. It should be meaningful. And A stands for, it should be attainable and achievable. And it should be realistic and relevant. And T stands for time bound. Within 3 years, I have to finish my PhD. Okay, something like that. Your objective should be SMART based. Then, so before you begin your research, read your primary sources and the theories first. Sir, where can I read the primary sources? Yes, you can wait. We have wonderful platforms here. I will definitely tell you, right? Then these are all prerequisites. Before you begin your research, you have to do that. Then start writing your review of literature or survey of literature. Sir, where can I find material for my ROI, for my review of literature? Sometimes even my guides and some of my friends used to say, it is not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is 2, 3, 4, then 5 and 1 in research. But then in the first chapter, you may have some objectives in your mind. You may have some research questions in my mind. Keep them in your mind first. Have some objectives in your mind. Have some research questions in your mind. Keeping those objectives and research questions in your mind, start your research. Start your review of literature. Why should we do review of literature first? Review of literature helps you find out the gap, research gap. You may review, say, 50 articles or theses or magazines or journals to find out the research gap. Because when you write your declaration, when you write the preliminary pages, you mention nobody has done a research on this particular area, right? You can avoid duplication if you do review of literature first. How will I do review of literature? Yes, I will tell you about digital platforms. Kindly wait. Then chapterization. Okay, you can have a wonderful skeleton. What are you going to do in the 3rd chapter? How are you going to apply the theories in the 3rd and 4th chapter? After review of literature, you can start 3rd and 4th chapter. Then you have fifth chapter and the first chapter. After writing this, you have to ensure that your research questions are answered. You have to ensure whether the objectives are met, whether the objectives are realized. In case you are sure that the objectives are met, in case you are sure that the questions are answered, in case you have given a wonderful findings and summing up limitations of the study, it will be a wonderful conclusion, right? Then finish your thesis first and then write your synopsis. We always advise our scholars do this. To do this because uh, in most of the conferences they'll ask you to submit your abstract first and then you will be expected to submit your full paper. No, actually you have to write your full paper first and then abstract. Similarly, you have to write your, it is better to write your thesis first and then condensing the 200 pages into 20 pages is easier, right? So I have given what you have to do in the first year, what you have to do in the second year, and then what you have to do in the third year. Yes. What is my research process, right? How am I going to start my research? Okay, I have given this, I have already spoken about it. If you are going to do your research in literature, there are only two things. One is theme-based and another one is author-based. Theme-based. See, many a times when we check, question papers, there will be a question. Critically analyze the poem or attempt a critical analysis this poem, The Road Not Taken. What do? We usually write summary of the poem. No, this is wrong. So, since we allow our boys to write only the summary of the poem, only the summary of the drama, they fail miserably at the beginning of their research. Thank you, Mr. Srihari. They fail miserably. If they may ask the students to write, Dr. Faustus is a morality play, discussed, they will write the summary. Dr. Faustus is a Promethean rebel, they will just write the summary. They will not analyze critically. I usually give, one example to my students. In case you find this word, critically analyze the poem, The Road Not Taken, or some other poems, or any literature piece. You have to use this as witty technique. This is my technique. You can use this, of course. I've already published in papers. As witty, first you have to know the author's background. Then you have to know semiotic analysis. Then you have to do word by word analysis. Then you have to do imagery analysis. Then you have to do title or topic based analysis, and then theme based analysis, and then your own perspective has to be given. This is how you are expected to critically analyze the poem. Similarly, if you start your research in literature, you are expected to analyze critically, thematically. Theme-based analysis, perhaps you will choose 6 works by different writers. You will find out, the identical themes, and then you will write it. Author-based, you will take one author, you will choose 5 or 6, novels or dramas, and you will try to apply some theories, because all the literature researches are qualitative in nature. Not all, 80% of the researches in literature are qualitative in nature, right? So it can be theme-based or it can be author-based. Fine. Now, sir, in which domain I can do my research? In which field can I choose? Many a times, people ask us. See, there are umpteen number of fields available in literature. Black literature, white literature, women's literature, children's literature, men's literature, green literature, fantasy literature, Jewish literature, queer literature, subaltern literature, chick literature, diasporic, LGBTQIA, religions, graphic, utopian, erotic, philosophical, ethical, and didactical are one and the same. Dalit studies, literature, apocalyptic literature. There are many fields. First, as a research scholar, you may like a particular field. You may like a particular writer. You may like a particular writer and a particular field, domain. Then you have to choose that. Then you have to read, that particular writer and the book. There are so many isms available because these days, even literature research is scientific in nature, systematic in nature. Unlike, in the past, these days, you are expected to apply, you are expected to use some research tools in your research. There are so many isms: feminism, black feminism, white feminism, Dalit feminism, Marxism, ecofeminism, ecocriticism, anthropocentrism, anthropomorphism, romanticism, realism, naturalism. The list goes and it ends with Dalit criticism, humanism, and post-humanism. There are many isms. First, you have to read or know the tenets of those isms. Sometimes people would come to us and say, "Sir, I wish to do research in this particular field." Okay, what are the tenets of this, perhaps, eco-criticism? What do eco-critics do? Sir, they'll scratch their head and say, "Sorry, sir, I don't." Without knowing that, you cannot do your research. Let me give you a simple example. Everybody would have heard about Kubla Khan, right? How many of you have heard Kubla Khan, the poem by Coleridge? You can just say yes or no. Thank you, Sasireka ma'am. Thank you, Danesh sir, sir. Yes, thank you, Mariapan sir. Yes, Sangeeta ma'am, Danesh sir, Angel ma'am. Okay, thank you so much. We've all heard about the poem Kubla Khan, right? The poem begins like this: in Xanadu did Kubla Khan a stately pleasure dome decree, where Alf the sacred river ran through caverns measureless to man, down to a sunless sea. So twice 5 miles of fertile ground, with the walls and towers were girdled around. Yes, I just read the poem. I just wrote the summary of the poem, finished. Then I said, "Oh, this is a wonderful poem." My friend, thank you, Madam Revati. Somebody asked me to analyze the poem critically. I said, "Hey, what do you mean by critical analysis? I can rather write the summary of the poem." Then he introduced me one theory, that is eco-criticism, okay, or ecofeminism, or ecocentric. Fine. Ecofeminism or eco-criticism. I just read the tenets of eco-criticism or eco-criticism, ecofeminism, eco-Dalitism. Fine. After reading the eco-criticism, I understood, I jotted down, I have noted down all the tenets of eco-criticism. Okay, one of the features of eco-criticism is that they will abuse the oppressors, right? They will abuse the exploiters, and they will always say the so-called, the oppressors, the capitalists are abusing, overusing, exploiting the nature. Fine. I've taken the first tenet of eco-criticism. Now I'm going to read Kubla Khan again by using eco-critical lens. Friends, please do listen to me, because when I analyzed this poem in the eco-critical perspective, I was literally startled. I was literally taken aback. Please do listen to me. Perhaps you may be startled, you may be shocked. After that, you have to tell me honestly how shocked you are now. Okay? Kubla Khan. I'm using eco-critical lens. Now, in Xanadu, Kubla Khan, wanted a pleasure dome. He asked all the servants to build a castle, and the palace should be about 10 miles, which is 16 kilometers. 16 kilometers of fertile ground, and there should be walls and gardens. I've taken eco-critical lens. I'm asking a question. Hello, Mr. Kubla Khan. Who are you to uproot all the trees? Who are you to exploit all the natural resources for about 10 miles? Have you ever thought about birds and other, living creatures that are already living there before you were born, and even during your birth, during your colonization, during your regime? Have you ever thought about, the people who are already living there? Have you ever thought about the animals that are already living there? Have you ever thought about the natural resources that are there? How dare you, casually you come and say, I need a wonderful palace, wonderful domicile, wonderful residence. So all these trees have to be uprooted. All these natural resources have to be, used, overused, abused. I'm not worried about the natural resources. I'm not worried about the trees. So when I use, a theory, I derive better meanings. I infer a lot of meanings. I was shocked, when I used this particular eco-critical lens to analyze the poem. If I can do it, why can't you do it? So how can I analyze a poem? Maybe if you are a beginner, I can advise you to read beginning theory. So beginning theory will help all the beginners. There are, lots of theories. Okay, you have liberal humanism, structuralism, post-structuralism, deconstruction, postmodernism, psychoanalytic criticism, feminist criticism, lesbian, gay criticism, Marxist criticism, new historicism, cultural materialism. What I actually like is that after end of every chapter, it is given what post-colonial critics do, what stylistic critics do, what narratologists do, what are eco-critics do. Okay, they will give you. Or what are feminists do or feminist critics do. Read that. Know the features first. Then you read, your primary source again with a critical analysis. I am sure you will be shocked. Okay, because I was shocked, when I read the poem Kubla Khan second time by using this eco-critical lens. Fine. Then, okay, in case I'm doing a research on feminist criticism, it is actually taken, I've actually taken from Peter Barry's beginning theory. What do feminist critics do? Rethink the canon, aiming at the rediscovery of texts written by women, revaluing women's experience, examining representations of women in literature by men and women. Okay, so after reading them, you have to keep all those tenets, features in your mind, and then you have to read the primary sources again. Okay, first you may read your primary source, then read the theory, keeping the theory, keeping the tenets, keeping the features of the particular theory, read your primary source again. I'm sure you will get wonderful information. You will be able to dissect the text. You will be able to tear apart the text. And you will be able to infer a lot of meaning from the text. I hope you all remember, I began my speech with the word dissecting the word, questioning, the word, or questioning the person, questioning the author, right? Dissecting. Even when you do a research, you will be able to dissect, with wonderful theories. Then review of literature, I've already spoken about it. When you read review of literature, when you review minimum of 50 articles, magazines, theses, you will understand what previous researchers have done. Keeping those ideas in your mind, you can come to a common understanding that yes, nobody has done a research on this particular area. That is how you will conclude your second chapter. Then you will take off to the third chapter and fourth, and then fifth and first. Fine. I've already told you in the preliminary pages, in the declaration part, you will say nobody has done research on this particular topic and the area, right? So when you are doing your introduction, ensure that you have objectives. If there is no problem, there won't be any research. You have to have some problems and you have to find out answers for that. You have to have some thesis statement, one thesis statement, we will talk about it, and delimitation of the study. Delimitation of the study you will find in the first chapter. Limitation of the study you will find in the concluding chapter. Okay, delimitation is nothing but choices made by the researcher. Then rationale of the research, like need for conducting this particular study, and then research questions. Have those research questions in your mind, have objectives in your mind, try to find out answers. Sir, where can I find out answer? How can I, get questions for my research? How can I find answers for my research questions? Kindly wait. We have some wonderful websites. Then concluding chapter, ensure that, you are summing up, you have given all the findings, and then limitations of the study, scope for the further research. You have to ask whether the research questions are answered, whether the objectives are realized, and bet. If you can do that, that is a quality research. That research will be remembered. Okay, that research generalization, that research results will be taken by the future research scholars, and then they will start that research. Fine. Sir, you have spoken about review of literature, you have spoken about chapterization, you have spoken about the planning. What should I do first? I've already told you to read your author, your beginning, theory as well by Peter Barry. Then you have wonderful websites. I'm not going to talk about everything here because, as I told you at the beginning, dig it all. You are going to dig, you are going to eat, you are going to all, you are going to dig everything from online platform. Yes, the first and foremost thing is shodhganga.inflibnet.ac.in. Many a times people would have told you, go to Shodh Ganga and search. You can't simply, type Shodh Ganga and get, thesis. Shodhganga.inflibnet.ac.in. There are about 4 lakhs theses available. More than 450 universities theses have been uploaded here. And some theses are, being uploaded. Okay, maybe if not today, maybe tomorrow or next year, you will find your own thesis there. Okay, so go to Shodh Ganga, shodhganga.inflibnet.ac.in. So when you surf this is the first page of Shodh Ganga. I've actually typed my friend's name, okay, Vijayalayan. I just typed that. Then it showed me about 10 results, wherein I found out the first research was done by my friend Vijayalayan. Then these are all some of the contents, okay, title, certificate, declaration, contents, chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, downloadable. Okay, you can read review of literature. You can read the theses that are related to your area. Actually, it reminds me of our journey when we did our PhD in 2013, if my memory is correct, or 14. We went to Hyderabad. We stayed there for a week. We went to library. On the first day, we checked only the thesis, and the second day, WAPAC, open, public access, I think, center. We found, we searched all the theses there, magazines there, books there. We really struggled. But today, at the click of a mouse, you will get everything. That is the wonderful thing about all our digital platform, right? Just have those keywords in your mind. Just type the keyword. You will find plenty of material online. I sometimes, my friends would say, how did you get the thesis? When I tried, I wasn't able to get the thesis. I would always, type. After typing the keyword, I would give thesis PDF, because there is one more, website called PDF Viewer, even wherein you will get a lot of PDF material that are downloadable. So you can download as many theses as you want. Choose the theses that are relevant to your area, and then read them. Go to scope for the further research. Read the review of literature. If you can read minimum of 50 articles or 10 theses or 5 theses or 2 theses at least, magazines, journals, you will understand the research gap. Okay, what has not been done. Okay, then you start your research. Okay, and then there is one more website that I've given here is b_ok.asia. Okay, earlier it was books.org, and later they've changed b_ok's.org. Now it is b_ok.asia, wherein you will find almost all the research books. Okay, those days, if you wanted to get some literary text, Project Gutenberg, I hope you all remember. If you want the old text, like Project Gutenberg would always come in handy and helpful. You want old textbook, like, sir, I want Dr. Foster's, or I want She Stoops to Conquer, I want the Rivals. or I want, George Bernard Shaw's Pygmalion, you would always type the word Pygmalion and Project Gutenberg. Okay, then you will get even the original text. But this one, b_ok.asia will give you even the modern textbooks. Okay, the contemporary textbooks. See, I have given you the first page of this website, b_ok.asia. Yeah, definitely, ma'am. Don't worry. See here, I'll show you. For example, I checked. I wanted to get the Lion and the Jewel book. Okay, then the book costs 1,344 rupees. Sir, I'm a poor researcher, sir. How can I, spend 1,400 rupees for one book alone? Don't worry. Go to b_ok.asia. Just type the book. See, you can download the book. And I've actually downloaded this book as well as Ecocriticism and Literary Theory by even Pramod Noyer's books are available. Okay. And okay, 1 minute. Okay, these are the books. Okay, contemporary life. These are beginning theory, literary criticism. All these books are downloadable. Okay. Yes, you may ask a question, sir. Is it free? Yes, it is free. See, I downloaded Lion and the Jewel yesterday. Had I bought, I would have spent 1,400 rupees, but then I got it for free. Even Pramod Nair, many contemporary books are available here. And then third website, www.easybib.com. Sir, why should I look for this website? My dear friends, when you write, you would have come across some wonderful quotations. You may not know, where this particular text or phrases, come or have been extracted from. This easybib.com or Google Books, will definitely help you. If you just type the word and Google Books, it will take you to the book and the first page of the book as well. Then you need not be caught under the word called plagiarism. You can definitely cite from where this particular text or from where the particular paragraph has been taken or extracted. So for that, I've given two websites, that is easybib.com and googlebooks.com. Academia, yes. You can be a premium member. Unfortunately, I was a premium member, but then they suddenly deducted 2,500 rupees. But anyway, go academia.edu or ResearchGate or scholar.google.com. These are some of the useful websites. Let me give you some idea about academic.edu. This academia.edu, wherein if you just type, the key terms, okay, that will take you, that will show you many pieces, many articles, okay, and then you will be able to download them easily, okay, you will be able to download them. So you can even become a member in academia.edu. Then Google Scholar will help you, will definitely tell you, who are the other people doing researches on this particular area, whether they are doing it in the US or UK or any other Asian countries. You will be able to find out who are the other people working on your area. Okay. Then I have some more wonderful websites here. Dig it all. Okay, you can definitely dig it all. nptel. How many of you have heard of it? nptel. How many of you are doing courses in nptel? Definitely, sir. Raji, sir, definitely will do that. Akshaya madam says yes, she's doing some courses in nptel. Yes. Then Alagikanan sir says yes. Sangeeta ma'am, Tanesh sir, yes. Thank you so much. nptel. Okay, Elizabeth Rani ma'am says she's also doing some courses on nptel. Dear research scholars, okay, I'm sure almost all the participants are from literature background or English literature background. Yes. See, even if you wish to do your research in any area, okay, feminism or world literature or critical theory, okay, or maybe soft skills or whatever, you can just take up one course. Okay, for example, I am doing my research on feminism. There is a course called feminism. It will run about 3 months, sometimes 4 weeks or 6 weeks, 8 weeks, or poetry, or digital humanities, or disability studies. You can just choose. Okay, see, there are many universities here. All those contents and material are developed by IITs, IISA, IIT Bombay, IIT Guwahati, IGNO, and Central University, IISA, NISA, IIT, MIT professors. Okay, the contents are very much online and as well as in YouTube. Okay, even Pramod Naya, Merin Simiraj Madam, other, Divya, uh, Professor Alia, all those, material contents are available online. Okay, see, when I typed literature, there are about 178 entries in literature alone. Okay, there are about 2,200 entries, but then when I filtered, it came to 178. You can choose any one of the courses, and then you will also get wonderful certificate. Because these days, even MOOC courses are used for your promotions. Okay, in the recent regulation said, if you have MOOC course, that will be considered as a refresher course. Okay, that will be considered a refresher course. And even for your jobs, okay, even for your appointments, hereafter, your MOOC course will get you some points. Okay, MOOC, massive open online course. Okay, try to do some MOOC courses once in 6 months. And then, how many of you have heard about EPG Padasala? EPG Padasala. See, I've given the first page of EPG Padasala, okay, EPG Padasala, wherein, see, there are, if I can zoom in, perhaps you'll be able to see that. See, in English, there are about 560 contents, 560 material, right? As a researcher or maybe as a teacher, you can think, you can decide, you can filter whatever you want, or literature. Okay, you can decide what is required, what is relevant to your study. Okay, so that is EPG Padasala. Okay, and see, I can give you even example. See, when I this is the first page of EPG Padasala. I just gave English literature. See, wherein you will get contents on English literature up to 1590s and 1798, 19th century, 20th century, American literature, Caribbean writing, Canadian writings, new literatures, comparative. See, they are given within parentheses how many contents are available. See, for example, the new literatures in English, there are about 35 contents available. Then you can filter and choose. Okay, I am sure any research scholar, if you wish to have some, basic or rudimentary idea about literature, theory, you can do it. Honestly speaking, I did history of English literature in Madras, IIT Madras. The instructor's name is Dr. Merin Simiraj. That is really a helpful nptel course. Whoever is preparing for NET exam, SET exam, PGTRB, I am sure if you do this course, if you can remember, the contents, next time when you meet me, you will definitely tell me, sir, I cleared NET exam, I cleared PGTRB exam after registering or after finishing this particular course. I'm sure you can take my words. Okay, EPG Padasala is also a useful website. And the third one is, of course, the central government sponsored websites, they are all. And the third one is swayam.gov.in. Swayam. Okay, so this is the first page of Swayam. You have filters, you have course catalogs, you can choose whatever. See, AICTE, CEC, IGNO, IIT Madras, IIT, all the IITs, NTTRs, NPTEL, UGC, NCERT. Okay, all those university professors or contributing to this platform. Okay, you have to choose your course, whether you are going to choose literature or language or soft skills or law or humanities, science, whatever. You have to choose your course. You have to filter it. You will find quite a lot of courses. You can research for any one course. You can register for any one course, and after 6 months, you may have to write your exam, and the course contents are completely free. Only if you want the certificate, you may have to spend say 1,000 rupees, and then you will get your certificate. Okay, this is the page taken from nptel course. Okay, kindly register. See, you have humanities and social sciences. In humanities and social sciences, you have feminism, you have modern Indian writings in translation, you have 20th century fiction, you have literary criticism, you have world literature. Many wonderful and interesting topics are available. The next one that I've given here is scholar.google.com. Okay, that is Google Scholar. See, when I typed eco-criticism, I found these many wonderful material. Whatever I need, I'm going to download it. Okay, so now some of you may ask, okay, sir, you have given some useful digital platforms. You also told us how to do a research in English literature, or perhaps English literature teaching. Okay, how to do my research, existentialism theory as a philosophy concept without giving any information about selected authors, origin of literature, like introduction to American literature, its development. Thank you, Madam Modi. This is a wonderful question. After finishing my session, I'll definitely answer your question. Now, I've taken an example. Okay, I'm going to give you how to frame your objectives, because I've given you some skeleton or some framework about doing research in literature. Okay, fine. Let me take, because I've actually done my PhD in English language teaching, and I started to do another research in English literature under the guidance of Dr. Tanesh, but then unfortunately we couldn't continue for some reasons. So I always love these two areas, because the first one, of course, it helps for the society. It helps the people who come from Tamil medium background. You can design your own module that will make the first generation learners speak in English. Okay, so for that reason, I chose English language teaching research. And the second one, the exploitation of nature and exploitation of the downtrodden was always appealing me. So for that reason, I wanted to do another study, but unfortunately I couldn't continue that. Fine, keeping that particular idea in my mind, I have given you some objectives. Okay, how an objective or how objectives should be. Okay, usually, as I told you before, my dear participants, our English literature research or ELT research are also scientific in nature these days. Okay, perhaps those days we would not have thought scientifically, but today we are expected to do scientific research. Okay, objectives to study the relationship between the environment and the Dalits. Okay, I have used I coined the word. Okay, environmental humanities. Okay, environment plus Dalit. So I created a new word, that is environmental literature. Perhaps you will see that in the next slides. Fine. Okay. So keeping that particular topic or broad area in my mind, I just designed, or I've just given some objectives. Number two, to explore the exploitation of the anthropocentric society. Anthropocentric, human-centric, okay, man-centered. Fine. To promote and create an egalitarian society wherein everyone is equal, okay, nature as well as human beings or Dalits, okay, they are all equal, egalitarian society, and creating a biocentric society through the chosen text. Okay, I have already chosen, I've already read those texts, and I've also applied theories. Okay, after that, the next one is to elaborate the identical sufferings of the environment and the subaltern. Whether the human and the non-human are identical in terms of sufferings. And then to suggest feasible solutions for sustainable development of both human and non-human entity. Most of the times, when people do research in subaltern studies, feminism, they just talk about only the plights. They just talk about only the sufferings, miseries. You can also give solutions. Okay, what is possible? How can they come out of this suffering, miseries, plights, and so on? So when you write objectives, ensure that you use these words like to compare, to contrast, to investigate, to establish, to explain, to describe, to determine, to estimate, or to evaluate, okay, to analyze, to study, to find out, okay, to promote, to suggest, okay. So this is how you are expected to write your objectives. And keeping those research objectives in your mind, have some research questions. Dear participants, as I told you before, keeping these objectives and research questions in your mind, read as many articles, theses, books that are available online. I've already given you some useful websites. You can even first start with Shodh Ganga. Okay, give you a topic there. Even one madam asked, making existentialism theory as a philosophy concept without giving any information about selected authors, origin of literature. Yes, I told her that I'll talk about it. So keeping those objectives in your mind, you have to frame some questions, okay, research questions. See, objectives and research questions will almost be identical in nature, but then just look at the questions. Why are there trials and tribulations in the world? Okay, maybe I have to say, because of the exploitation of the nature as well as the downtrodden, there is no peace in the society. Something like that. Okay, something like that. I may have to justify. Why is the world in crisis? Okay, of course, because of the over exploitation of these two. Okay, what is the role of human in exploiting nature? How is the suffering of human proportional to the exploitation of nature? So human beings are also suffering, nature is also suffering. How are they identical in nature? What is the relationship between human and non-human? How is it relevant to compare human and non-human? Yes, because some people may ask, sir, they are human beings and then that is non-human. How can you compare these two entities, right? People may definitely ask questions, but then you should be in a position to justify them. And what is the body of literature that is available related to the sufferings of both? Because when you read, text, you will be able to understand, yes, both of them, are identical and common in terms of sufferings, right? You have to be very, very clear. Otherwise, when people pose questions, you may fumble and mumble. Okay? What is the impact of anthropocentric attitude on the nature and the human? How far the chosen texts are helpful in understanding the plights of the subalterns and offering suitable solutions. See, I've given subalterns. I have brought even nature under the term subaltern. Okay? The voiceless and the less voiced. Okay, I published one more paper on this. The less voiced and the voiceless. Okay, one is a nature and one is a Dalit, and both of them are subalterns. Okay, so I just written a paper like that. So keeping those research questions, keeping those objectives in your mind, you have to do your review of literature. Then thesis statement. Most of the times people will ask me, sir, I am doing research in English literature. Should I have to have a hypothesis? Should I have to have thesis statement? Actually, about that, I'm sure the next speaker will talk about that. But anyway, I'll just give you a hint about it. Usually, in literature research, you give thesis statement. Okay, what is a thesis statement? A short and direct sentence that summarizes the main point. It is arguable, okay, it is debatable, okay. Don't think that just because you have given, everybody will accept, everybody will endorse your view. No, it is not like that. The selected works realistically highlight the miseries and adequately provide solutions for the sustainable development of human and non-human. You may have questions. You may not accept. Okay? You may argue with me. You may debate with me. Right? Okay, I have to accept. Okay, whatever you say, I'll have to accept. And then I may have to think to satisfy your view, your viewpoint as well. Okay, so this is how you have to have your thesis statement, you have to have your objectives, you have to have your research questions. Okay, research questions, thesis statement, and objectives. Keeping all these three things in your mind, start your review of literature. Okay, so as I told you, environmental literature, I have given DAL. Okay, this is a term, I mean, the researcher or the investigator coined a couple of years ago. What are the contents? Fine. I have some contents in my mind. What will I write? I'll write about conserving nature and preserving people. Genocide and geocide. Genocide is mass killing of the downtrodden. Geocide is mass killing of the nature, mass killing of the trees, etc. Ecocentric and eccentric. Okay, ecocentric and eccentric. Ecocentric and egocentric. Ecocentric. I mean, I hope you got some idea about ecocentric. Okay, biocentric, biotic community, giving respect to all the living creatures, and eccentric attitude. Some people will think, I am great, my views are great, I am the better person, I belong to this group, so whatever I say, others have to listen to. I am the oppressor, they have to be oppressed. Some kind of eccentric attitude some people may have, right? Nature's, I will not respect nature. All the animals are under me. Okay, I will control them. Some sort of eccentric views. I usually, quote Eliot's it's wonderful Pig, Stalin, wherein he will say, man thinks that he is higher of all the animals, but man cannot pull the plow. Okay, man cannot run like a rabbit. Man cannot give milk, but then he is the ruler of all the animals. Okay, that's a wonderful piece. Okay, I'll definitely give you where I extracted that particular phrase. Fine. Then harmony versus hegemony. And a warming nation is a warning nation. Common property to commodity. Okay, all these things I had in my mind. Okay, and the land ethics by Aldo Leopold. He's an American. So when I wanted to do a research in environmental literature, this quotation helped me. Okay, a thing is right when it tends to preserve the integrity, stability, beauty of the biotic community. It is wrong when it to do otherwise. In case you do not preserve the nature, conserve the nature, preserve the people, respect everyone, then there is no point in living. That is wrong, according to Aldo Leopold. And anthropocentric versus biotic. The reason why we should care for the biotic community is it benefits us. Okay, fine. So I have given you some information, right? First, I told you how to do your research in literature, right? How to do your research in literature. You have to keep objectives, research questions, thesis statement in your mind. Then you have to read review of literature. Read as many articles as you can. Read as many journals as you can. Magazines as you can. Thesis as you can. I also told you how to get thesis from online platform. Okay, type the thesis name, type the key term, and then thesis, and then PDF. Okay, you have to give like that. Then you will be able to download them. Another easiest way, shodhganga.inflibnet. I guess ac.in, right? Okay, wherein you will get all the thesis. You can do your research with the help of the nptel courses and with the help of b underscore ac.in. Okay, so the Shodhganga will give you all the thesis. Okay, if not all, at least some thesis, they'll give you. Then, keeping that, you will be able to write your second chapter neatly. If you can do that, then application of theory in the chosen text, okay, in the third chapter, and then the fourth chapter. Then conclusion will be your findings. Then you will also write about limitations of the study, summing up, okay, scope for the further research. And then first chapter, you will, as I told you, you will write about the background of the author. Okay, you need not write she was born in this place, in Delhi, in Tamil Nadu. No, you need not write that. You have to, keep some standards in your mind. And there is one more, perhaps a confusing word, quality research. How can I do a quality research? See, we, the college teachers, are producers of knowledge. Okay, only when you produce something, you will expect a quality. I listened to a lecture a couple of weeks ago wherein one professor has said the difference between the school teacher and the college teacher. School teachers are consumers. Okay, they just give knowledge to people, whereas at the tertiary level, you expect students to produce, create something new. Okay, if you can follow them, if you can read all those reviews, magazines, articles, journals online, then you will definitely say, like Robert Frost, to your friends, I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, too many topics traveled in my mind, and I chose the one less traveled by. That has fetched me the PhD degree. Okay, so I just rephrased it. Then, as I told you, DIGITAL, dig it all. Everything is on digital platform. It is your duty. It's the role of the researcher to dig all the information required to your relevant area and then do your research. All the best for for the beginners and the budding researchers. Thank you so much for the wonderful opportunity. I thank everyone profusely for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for creating a nexus on research and giving an entire encyclopedia on what a researcher should do from the first to the last. Thank you so much, sir. Now we have Q&A session. So you can ask your question to the resource person. Sir, one question is there in the chat box from Madhu PhD.
Yes.
She has asked, sir, can we make an existentialism? Can we make existentialism theory as a philosophy concept without giving any information about selected authors, origin of literature, like introduction to American literature and its development?
Okay. Thank you, Madam Madhu. Existentialism theory and as a philosophy concept. Okay. Are you from English department? Ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you from English department?
Yes, sir.
No, is it Madam Madhu?
Madhu PhD, sir. You are asking Madhu PhD?
Yes.
ID. So she is not here in the meet. I think she has put the question in the chat box.
Oh, she's left. Okay.
Okay.
Actually,
So
it is
for the benefit
possible, but then, yes, madam.
For the benefit of the audience, you can answer the questions, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, this is actually a wonderful question. The thing is that, as I told you beginning, it should be either author-centric or theme-centric or theme-based, author-based and theme-based. But then without choosing any authors, if you theme-based analysis is also possible, okay? Because you have given existentialism theory, but how are you going to write 200 pages or 250 pages, without quoting any authors? I really don't know whether it is possible to write for about 200 to 250 pages. It is possible. Okay, you can keep this theory in your mind, but then how are you going to do? I mean, I may have to know the plan. Perhaps maybe she can mail me. If she can tell me the plans that she has, okay, so this is my plan, these are the objectives, this is my thesis statement, and these are the research questions that I have. Could you please help me, or could you please tell me, or could you please give me a skeleton for my research? I'm sure I'll be able to do that. Okay, I'll just give my mail ID here. Okay, you can always mail me. You can tell me your plan. You can definitely, mail me anytime. You just tell me your plan. You just tell me your objectives and thesis statement and research questions. Then I'll definitely give you a skeleton for your thesis.
Thank you, sir. Any more questions?
Thank you so much.
Audience? Any more questions? Julie, ma'am, you have raised your hand. Hello. Aragu Kannan, you have raised.
Madam Madhu is here. She
Yes,
says yes. I think she is from English department. Ma'am, and one more thing, most of the times, as I gave at the beginning, you are doing your research for the sake of promotion. Sometimes interdisciplinary researchers are not acceptable for job appointments, recruitments rather. Okay, so, you may do your research in philosophy department because to acquire knowledge, but then sometimes it may not be accepted for government jobs. You kindly send me your objectives and thesis statement, and then the questions. I'll definitely give you a skeleton. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Now I call upon Ms. Angel Peter to deliver a word of thanks.
On behalf of the organizing team, it is my privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this occasion. First, let me thank the President, Engineer A.C.S. Arun Kumar, for always being a source of encouragement and support. I would like to thank Dr. L. Ramesh, Dean, Evans Publications and Alumni, for his encouragement, guidance for conducting the events. I thank Dr. D.B. Jabaraj, Joint Registrar, ENS, and other higher officials for their extended support. My heartfelt thanks to Dr. Mary Thomas, Dean, Department of English, and Dr. Chandrasena Rajeswaran, Head, Department of English, for being the guiding stars of our department by helping with suggestions, inputs, and support. Thank you, Mary ma'am and Chandrasena ma'am. A special thanks to our resource person for the day, Dr. Ganesan, who shared with us his knowledge of research and gave insight into various aspects of research. Your inputs on understanding literary theory and your presentation of literary concepts with examples has helped us further our understanding of research. I also wish to thank the faculty members from the Department of English for organizing the faculty development program and the technical team that helped in ensuring smooth conduct of the program online. Thank you everyone for your time and effort. I also wish to thank the participants for being a part of this FDP and helping in making this a success. With this, I would like to thank you all once again. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Participants, kindly fill the attendance and feedback link which I have shared in the chat box.